We begin tonight with a Fox News alert. According to reports, former President Donald Trump could be indicted in New York as early as tomorrow or sometime next week. Maybe not at all, but odds are looking the other way. The chatter tonight is loud that this indictment can come as early as tomorrow, and an arraignment would be in New York next week. Now, still, the far-left Manhattan DA, took on this zombie case, as they call it, against Trump. It is looking increasingly weak and blatantly political to legal experts on both sides of the aisle. Now, coming up, we're going to hear from Trump attorney Joe Tacopina. He's taking on this case. Also, two people that testified in front of the New York grand jury. One has not spoken before, Kellyanne Conway, and she will tell her story here for the first time, and Robert Costello. Costello is a prominent U.S. attorney, former U.S. attorney, and once worked as a legal advisor to the state's star witness, Michael Cohen. He now says that Cohen is totally unreliable and on a revenge tour against Donald Trump. It is important to note Michael Cohen is a convicted felon, a tax cheat, an admitted liar, and a fraud, but New Yorkers' very weak case does hinge seemingly on this testimony. Now, absolutely about an alleged non-disclosure agreement from, 7 years ago. In a 2018 statement, Michael Cohen said this about the agreement, quote, "In a private transaction in 2016, I used my own personal funds to facilitate a payment of $130,000 to Miss Stephanie Clifford, a.k.a. Stormy Daniels. Neither the Trump organization nor the Trump campaign was a party to this transaction. To the payment of Miss Clifford, it was lawful. It was not a campaign contribution or a campaign expenditure by anyone." Now, Alvin Bragg is trying to prove the exact opposite with a completely different story from Cohen. And not only is the DA relying on an unreliable, dishonest star witness with conflicting statements, but he is also attempting to do something without any legal precedent. Bragg is trying to take a misdemeanor 2 years outside the statute of limitations and upgrade this to a low-level felony, likely also out of the statute of limitations, using a novel legal theory surrounding a New York campaign finance law. And it was referred to as a zombie case because it keeps coming back from the dead, even though they look at it and they say, nah, there's nothing here. The prior DA in New York declined to pursue these charges. The DOJ also declined to pursue them, as did the FEC. But now here we are years later, and this is all pretty insane but predictable, because if the dog bites, the bee stings, you're feeling sad, let's blame Trump, let's impeach Trump, let's have a hoax against Trump, let's now indict Trump. But we all know what's happening here. This is political vengeance. Justice is not blind. There is no longer in this country, and I say this with a lot of sadness, equal justice under the law or equal application of our laws. Sadly, we do have a two-tiered system of justice. It is alive. It is well. We have chronicled it often on this show, and especially in the state of New York. In fact, on the campaign trail, Alvin Bragg, he vowed, he made a pledge, a promise, a solemn vow that he would convict Donald Trump one way or another. Take a look.
A lot of people are wondering, whoever has this job, are they going to convict Donald Trump?
Look, that is the number one issue. I'm the candidate in the race who has the experience with Donald Trump. I was the chief deputy in the attorney general's office. We sued the Trump administration over 100 times. It'd be hard to argue with the fact that that'd be the most important, most high-profile case. And I've seen him up front and seen the lawlessness that he can do.
And you believe it should happen?
I believe we have to hold him accountable.
Okay, that's the number one issue. You're running for office to be Manhattan District DA, getting Donald Trump. That's your top issue over a non-disclosure agreement from 7 years ago. Not rape, not murder, not theft. Nope. Now, is this a system of justice that we really want in this country? Now, sadly, the legal system we now know has been weaponized. We have now criminalized political differences. Somebody should tell Alvin Bragg that this is called persecution, not prosecution. Alvin Bragg has given violent felons the best deals imaginable. In fact, Senator Rand Paul is now calling for Bragg to be locked up. Quote, a Trump indictment would be a disgusting abuse of power, and the DA should be put in jail. Now, think about this. Bragg is dedicating valuable time, limited time, resources, millions of taxpayer dollars to prosecute a cooked-up misdemeanor case involving Donald Trump, all while giving actual violent criminals a free pass. In his very first memo, he instructed his staff to seek misdemeanor charges for perpetrators accused of armed robbery, so long as no one was seriously injured. But it's not just armed robbery. Under Bragg, 52% of all felony cases get reduced to misdemeanors, and of the felony cases that he actually tries, he's lost 49% of them. That is an atrocious record by any account. In September, a man named Justin Washington, he got a sweetheart deal from Bragg after allegedly raping a teenage relative. Washington was set to serve just 30 days in jail before terrorizing 5 more victims. Now, here's another sweetheart deal handed out to the perpetrator of a vicious anti-Semitic beating in Midtown Manhattan. Bragg also reduced the charges for a man who attempted to rob the same pharmacy twice in one day at knife point. The man had a lengthy rap sheet with more than 20 arrests, rape, robbery, assault, other crimes. Alvin Bragg didn't care. In another case, the perpetrator had 46 prior arrests and was out on parole, but Bragg, once again, he reduced the charges. So it's no surprise that major crime is on the rise in New York City under Bragg. And according to FoxNews.com and the Daily Mail, Bragg's campaign was funded by a massive donation from a Soros-backed political action committee. And like many other far-left Soros-funded prosecutors across the country, safety and security is a low priority for Alvin Bragg. Instead, he's more interested in keeping his campaign promise to get Donald Trump and advance a political agenda. It is deeply unethical, and it's now obvious to everybody, including even people on fake news CNN and MSDNC. I never thought I'd see the day. Take a look.
The facts are old. They're 6 or 7 years old. And the star witness here in the form of Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's former attorney, has credibility issues, has been convicted of crimes. And so, to your point, Abby, as far as the strength of a case, it's certainly not the kind of slam dunk that many people would wish that it were.
You have to be careful when you put a witness on the stand who has a motive for revenge. And Michael Cohen has said many times he would like to get Donald Trump in one way or another. So does it concern me? Yes. Have I done things like that? Sure.
In this New York case, the facts of this case, going on almost 7 years now, are really stale.
I hear my conservative friends saying they're being overcharged. It's so aggressive. It's so terrible. Welcome to my world, folks. Prosecutors overcharging, being over-aggressive, being ridiculous with minor stuff and turning it into major stuff happens every single day in America, every courthouse in America.
Now, as you can see, lawyers and pundits on both sides of the aisle are now admitting Alvin Bragg's case is weak and it is reckless. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.